In Trinidad, located just off the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway in El Socorro, there is something big going on. Meet Jason. Enthusiastic, passionate, a little crazy. He doesn't simply modify cars and trucks. His creations are the result of a driving passion for the perfect combination of innovation, power, and style. But the real boss is Diesel. His opinion is worse than his bark and his bite. The big decisions get put on his plate for a thorough chew-through. This is the team that will take your ride to new heights. This is Bad Granny.
Welcome to Muscle Cars Part 2. So growing up, my neighbor, Douglas, had a gear Cortina that he got from his uncle. Real nice gear Cortina, right? And he decided to pull out the 2-liter Ford engine and put a 350 Chevy in it. So he put a 350 Chevy in this thing with an automatic, and that thing was quick for the time, right? It even had the same little 13-inch rim that they come with, the kind of Cortina rims, the fancy ones. And some 205 50 13 tires on it, and on the bottom was Formula, and he used to race that thing. So every morning I used to wake up to every single morning at 7:15. He used to start the car and leave it to warm up, and that was my alarm. I didn't have an alarm at the time. So you can imagine 14, 15, 16, your neighbor have this warm 350 Chev in a Cortina, you know? It was pretty cool. So basically my first experiences with cars were really and truly muscle cars. And then my uncle got a 1956 Plymouth from Dr. Van Crossan, and he was the guy in charge of the Chaguaramas Leprosarium, right? He was the doctor. The same doctor's house down in Chaguaramas where he likes to take pictures of. That's where he used to live. And he had a 1956 right-hand drive Chrysler Belvedere. So he used to be working on that when I was in school. So that was the other V8 muscle car that I grew up in. That was a real V8 muscle car, 1956. And he had a 360 Chrysler in it. So that was Dodge, you know, them things talk like that, steel crank, that kind of stuff. So I used to go and work on the car and fit with it, and he kind of lost interest in the car, and I started fixing the car and always playing in it and always begging him for it. And he said, listen, if you give me 5 passes in CXC, I'll give you the car. So before I got my passes, I started working on building this car. And he'd come on and go, what you doing? I said, I'm working on my car. He said, you have no passes yet. I said, you don't worry about that. I gave him 7 passes. And boom, my first car, 1956 Plymouth with a warm 360 Chrysler in it. That was me, and that was the start of, I guess, Bad Granny.
I was always interested in cars. Actually, I was born into fast cars, racing cars. My dad, one of my uncles. So fast cars has been a part of me my entire life. The original owner of the Capri was a gentleman by the name of Ralph Tom. Ralph Tom sold it to Nolan Benjamin. Nolan Benjamin sold it to someone else. Can't remember the name now. A guy by the name of Brennan. And then I purchased it from Brennan. The car already had a lot of high performance parts on it, but the body, the electrical needed some work. The head gasket blew with me, and at that stage I said, look, do over the whole car. And there's where it began. The rebuilding of the engine, differential, transmission, everything was redone on the car. The color is yellow from a Suzuki Swift with a mix of a Corvette yellow with some metal flake, not much. I always liked yellow, and I figured the car, being a small car, didn't want to put it in a dark color, so put it in a bright color. And here you have it, a yellow Capri.
My introduction to cars all began in the early stages of my boyhood. I always wanted to be able to fix them and do all sorts of things. So that rolled forward to when I was 14 years old, which is when I built my first engine by myself. Built it, fired up, and I guess that was kind of like my start into getting into cars, modifying cars and so on. The current car that I own is a 1983 Mustang GT. It is an authentic GT, but it's gone through some restoration, all done by my buddy Andre at Autogenics. The power plant was built in the US. It probably puts out just about 300 to 350 horses. This car comes with 6 shocks. It's got 2 conies up front and 4 conies in the back. You have your 2 conies regular, and then there are the 2 conies to take up the axle torque.
You're a dream to me, dream to me.
Let's roll back 9 years now and take a look at a Chevy Camaro. When Chevy produced the Camaro, they designed the body to be long and low to the ground. It had a nickname called the Hugger. I never heard it, but I guess it did. The price was between $2,600 and $2,900. The Camaro proved so popular that Chevy increased production to over 65,000 units for the 6-cylinder and 175,000 units for the V8, both in hardtop and soft-top convertible. The body featured an extensive lower body facelift with a new bumper and grille. It also had a unique feature, a cowl induction hood. This is a rare facing scoop on the bonnet, and what happens at 80% throttle, it would throw a flap, allowing cool air to be drawn from the base of the windscreen, basically increasing power. It'd be like pushing nice cool air into the engine, giving you some more giddy up. This is why they probably use the Camaro as a pace car for the Indianapolis 500. So coming in both a 6-cylinder and a V8 model, the horsepower range was between 210 and 325 horsepower. I guess depending on how much speed you wanted and how much money you had in your pocket, you'd get one of these full out 325 horsepower monsters. The Camaro was one of those cool cars teenagers wanted back in the day. They all wanted to own it. And Chevy basically crafted and manipulated their advertisements to that target market. An interesting fact about the Camaro, in the development stages before it was called Camaro, it was called the Panther. So just imagine if it kept that name, you'd have a black Camaro and they could call it the Black Panther. So this Camaro, I mean, this thing is nice, it's clean. And I mean, the man flies jets for a living. So if you pick a Camaro, you know, with a stroke 383 in it, you gotta respect that man for that, right? Captain Lianos like to fly. So Captain, I love your 68 Camaro. It's nice boy, right-hand drive, it's comfortable, it rides well, it's air conditioned. I mean, damn, it's a nice car. How long have you had it?
Just over 15 years. It basically was a car labor of love, really.
That's great. And where you got it from?
My cousin's husband owned the car, and it was right there in Europe, and it was covered down. Said he was going to restore it, but eventually he decided he's going to sell it. So he called me one day, and I picked it up. It was pretty much a basket case.
So you got lucky?
I wouldn't say lucky.
So you basically got it in pieces, so what, you had to build it up?
Yeah, it came with no floor, no engine, no transmission, no glass. All the fenders were in filler.
Oh, no drivetrain?
No drivetrain. Well, it had the original differential.
Okay, but no engine and stuff?
No engine, which I had rebuilt.
And who helped you do all that?
Started off with took it to a shop, and then my family, my wife, 2 daughters and son helped me, and then guys from the V8 Car Club, they all as well helped. So a lot of people along the way.
But it's a family heirloom, I guess. It's
It
part of the
is.
family.
It is. My eldest daughter loves to drive it.
That's great, man. I can imagine that.
And my youngest daughter, who just got a license, she wants to drive it too, but we'll have to do a little practice.
Yeah, I think we have to give her a little
Yeah,
time.
a little time.
Before we end up somewhere else where we
Yeah.
don't want to be, and everybody rebuilding again.
That is so true.
I'm Dale Lutchman, and I'm here to tell you about Trak's newest service to save you your most valuable asset, time. Have you ever started your car and gotten that sad noise, followed by a flashing red battery light on your dashboard? Well, I have, and it's not the best feeling. If this happens to you, simply dial 62-TRACK, and the Trak service representative will be happy to assist. The response team is courteous, professional, efficient, and trained to help you save your most valuable asset, time.
At Bad Granny, we live on the edge. We thrive on adventure. And every now and then, we enjoy a little steam. Every day is a new experience, which is why we trust Gulf's wide range of lubricants to enhance performance, reliability, and longevity.
You're a dream to me, dream to me.
Time to get to know the Pontiac Firebird. Now everybody who's a little older remembers Michael Knight and Kit. Who didn't love the black, sleek, fast car with the turbo boost button? I know I loved it. I had one. I still got one. Don't tell anybody. Pontiac was a leader in performance in the 1950s, but it kind of lost it until the Firebird was produced, and that basically cemented them back into the performance market. Designed and manufactured as a direct rival to the Ford Mustang, the Firebird has been in production from 1967 till 2002. So this Pontiac Firebird is my good buddy that I grew up with in Cascade. I know this thing my whole life, right? He knew it his whole life. His dad used to pick him up from school. And one day, right around the time we started by Granny, I was like, Troy, what's going on with the Firebird? Now he lives in Tobago, runs a hotel, and the Firebird was living in Cascade, still in the house, in the garage. And he said, well, boy, I can't get it to work. Something wrong with the transmission. So I said, you know what, Troy? I could do something for you. I'll pull it out, and I'll try and let's see if we sort it out. So the first thing I had to do was tow it up to the shop and check out why it was moving. So the transmission was shot. So we had to pull the transmission, send it to rebuild, brought it back, and boom, car's working. First time in about 6 years, Troy got to drive the car. And then of course he said, well, for some reason it was hard shifting and it was giving trouble, and I had to go through the engine and figure out if the engine was tired or what was going on. So checked the engine, and the engine seemed fine, and the biggest problem was the carburetor. So I did all kind of stuff, tried to rebuild it, but it was just shut. You know, all the bushes on the butterflies on the shafts were gone. It was just sucking air. So I said, Troy, pelt it away. And at first he was like, oh gosh. I said, Troy, just buy a new carburetor. We bought a brand new carburetor. We put that thing on, and the car all of a sudden was like brand new. All right. Aluminium. Shit. I go. Nice. That's right. Yep. Give some love. Let's see if you think that. Ready? Light it up there, Troy. It would shift clean, it would start no problem, it even stopped overheating. It was ridiculous. Brand new Holley we put on it. And from there, changed all the spark plugs, adjusted the timing, and boom, the car was working. So then, all of a sudden, we have a working car. So it's like, what are we gonna do?
At Bad Granny, we live on the edge. We thrive on adventure. And every now and then, we enjoy a little speed. Every day is a new experience, which is why we trust Gulf's wide range of lubricants to enhance performance, reliability, and longevity.
What's that? Hold on. So then, all of a sudden, we have a working car. So it's like, what are we gonna do? Get this nasty brown interior. I said, Troy, let's see if we could do over the interior. We get some bucket seat for it. Plus, he had to change his steering. One of his steering shafts was bad. There's all these bushings and stuff. We wanted to put it back as joints. Little things. Windscreen was cracked. So we pulled out the interior and he started searching, and we just couldn't find any new interior. And I heard about this guy who was like building carbon fiber panels. So what we did is we took the old plastic interior, which was brown, and we covered it in actual carbon fiber. Now we knew this might destroy the interior, but the interior was bad anyway. So the whole interior of the car now is carbon fiber panels. So we had the old dashboard, which was basically done. But we couldn't get a new dashboard because one, they're really hard to find, and two, they're very expensive. But what we did get was a replacement cover, which is pretty cool because it just slips. Well, you have to take off the high parts in the dashboard first, and then it just slips on like this. Slips on, and you just glue it down, and voila, new ting. The whole interior of the car now is carbon fiber panels laid over the plastic. It's not as straight as one would love, but when you put it in and you put all the interior back in, all the carpet, you don't notice it because it's all got padding and door cards and seats in, so you really see it. Change all the headliner. And then we said, boy, Troy, let's paint it. So we sent it off to paint. And boy, this old guy, man, he did a beautiful job on this car. And we actually found out it had a chassis problem. That's why we sent it to paint. There was a chassis problem where somebody actually pushed the right front wheel up into the panel and twisted the car. That's why the door wouldn't open and not close properly. So we pulled and straightened all that out. We had a big hole under there that we had to fix. We got a new nose cone for it, a new rear bumper. We changed all the windscreen, we did over the car, side and black, and boy, it was straight as. And to get a car that long, with that much panel, straight, is a miracle. But that thing is now straight and black. And we did finish the interior. I kind of pulled the car together for Troy and gave it back to him for him to finish with his son. It was all working and stuff. He just had to tidy up the interior and finish a few things. And now it's beautiful, as you can see. We're in Tobago, we're driving this thing, it's hot. And works like new. You breathing too loud. What muscle cars good.